How did Richard Branson become a billionaire? Today I'm going to go through the story leading up to his first $1 billion. After receiving £4 from his mother, Richard launched the student magazine. His idea was to offer an exciting magazine for students, where they could campaign against policies and link up with other schools. The magazine went on to cover topics ranging from pop culture to the Vietnam War. Before turning 17, Richard decided to drop out of school and pursue his venture. He left with the words of his headmaster: "You'll either go to prison or become a millionaire." After finding a necklace that no one claimed, his mother sold it and gave him the money, amounting to £100, which helped him to pay the utility bills. The original setup was in the basement of co-founder Johnny Gems. After the basement got crowded though, Johnny's parents told them to move out. After Johnny left to pursue his education, Richard asked his friend Nick Powell to join him. Nick helped Richard manage the magazine and was specifically good at monitoring the financial situation. The magazine picked up and managed to interview some high-profile guests. However, after finding out that Nick was trying to gain support from the employees to remove Richard as chief editor, Richard asked him to leave. Without Nick to manage the magazine and distribution well, the situation declined. At the same time, Richard noticed that the students were spending a lot of their money on purchasing records. The more obscure the record was, the more they were prepared to pay. He saw no one was giving discounts on records and realized that it was a great opportunity to sell records at discount prices to students. In the last edition of Student Magazine, he advertised the mail order service for records. Students were attracted to the discount prices. The service became popular and money started flowing in. Someone suggested the name Virgin for the new company and it was adopted. As Richard was being paid in advance, he had capital to buy the records. Soon he found himself in need of assistance in managing the cash flow of the company. He called in his friend Nick and they agreed on a 40-60 split in the company. Things went well until the post office went on strike. The whole company relied on the post, so this was very problematic. They realized it was an opportunity to open up a record shop. Scouting out the city, they decided to move into a vacant upper floor of a shoe shop. They made a deal with the shoe shop owner. They wouldn't pay rent, as they would bring traffic to the shoe shop and thus increase the owner's sales. They set up the store differently to any other record store. They focused on creating an atmosphere where customers could come in, relax on pillows and listen to music via headphones. They wanted the customers to enjoy the experience, spend time chatting to each other, and feel that the store related to them. On opening day, the store was packed. Lines filled the stairway to the store. Nick was in charge of running the store. Through their mail order service, they learned what records people were buying and therefore were in a good position to stock the popular artists. They concentrated on creating a positive reputation. They made the customers feel welcome, gave them magazines to read and free coffee. Word spread about their shop, and soon people were leaving the big record chains to shop there. With Nick running daily business at the store, Richard wanted to expand. He was attracted to the informal culture of the record industry. The record shop ran on thin margins as they were greatly discounting records. The major profit was found in the record companies. The formal nature of the existing recording studios didn't make sense in an informal music culture. He decided to open his own recording studio and found a manor house in the country where he could set it up. It was a place where artists could stay for a few weeks and have a good time while they recorded tracks. Richard's cousin, Simon Draper, came to work for him. He was very skilled at understanding music and artists. Through his immense knowledge of music, they bought albums of artists that weren't yet proven successes. This earned them a great reputation among the music-loving teenagers and young adults. While the mail order business gained popularity, it had limited expansion opportunity. So they focused on the shops. In just over a year, they opened up 14 new shops. They used a clever strategy. They negotiated with the landlords and agreed that they wouldn't pay rent for the first 3 months. I don't know why they agreed to this. With the sales from the store during the first 2 months, they were able to pay the rent of the previously open store. With the recording studio at the manor up and running, the mail order business even exporting overseas, and 20 record shops open, Richard looked towards starting his own record label with Simon. By doing so, he would be able to make money from the recording of the album in the studio, publishing and releasing them via the record label, and selling them via the record shops. His first signed artist was Mark Oldfield. He had been turned down by every record label he had approached. His mix of various instruments was unusual for them. Virgin released his first album called Tubular Bells. While critics loved it, it was hard to get radio stations to play the track as it was 45 minutes long. They pushed for it to be picked up, and after a few months it reached number 1 in the charts. The album went on to reach double platinum and over 1 million sold copies. For a while, Mike was the only majorly successful artist, and they were in danger of being seen only as a hippie label and Mike's record label. However, things changed when they were able to sign up the Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols' behavior was seen as outrageous, and not many record companies were willing to sign them or keep them. However, no matter what they did, Virgin held on to them. The company went up and down in terms of their cash position. When an artist they signed reached top charts, they were in cash. When things were quiet, money was tight. The label went on to sign artists such as Japan, XTC, Ian Gillan, Phil Collins, Simple Minds, The Human League, and Boy George. When CDs came out, people wanted to reproduce the music catalogs on CD. This gave Virgin an opportunity to profit once again from back catalog artists such as Mark Oldfield. In 1984, Richard was approached with a proposition to start a new airline. An airline called Lakers Airline had collapsed. Therefore, a route between London Gatwick to New York had opened up. In Richard's way of doing things, he tested the service of one of the airlines offering the transatlantic route and was unable to get through to them. Now he believed in the opportunity. After phoning Boeing and establishing that it was possible to lease a plane, Richard was in. He figured if things didn't work out, he could return the plane after a year, thus limiting the downside. He named the airline Virgin Atlantic and kept it separate from the record company as much as he could to avoid the record company being affected if things went wrong. After negotiating with Boeing on a contract, working hard to receive a license from regulators, and working out the administration systems for the airline, they were ready for the necessary test flight to receive a license. The plane took off and soon after hit a flock of birds. One of the engines exploded, quite the anticlimax. Unfortunately, they didn't have insurance as they didn't yet have a license and needed to fund a new engine. The follow-up test went smoothly and Virgin Atlantic was in business. After the next few years, Virgin Atlantic had to battle for slots in various routes. Each airport has limited slots and competition between the airlines can get heated. Virgin's main issue was British Airways. There were two major advantages that they had over the new Virgin Atlantic. They dwarfed Virgin by their sheer size, and although they had become privatised as the national carrier of the UK, they were favoured by administrators. This caused Virgin to be confined to Gatwick Airport. They couldn't get into the much busier Heathrow, which was also more profitable. They really struggled against British Airways. When Virgin finally managed to get permission to fly from Heathrow, as well as extra slots, British Airways were unhappy. Their CEO, Lord John King, I know what a name, set about to do something about Virgin Atlantic. He saw them as a threat and was prepared to do what it took to stop them. Thus was the launch of the so-called Dirty Tricks campaign, a campaign intended to bring down Virgin Atlantic. Rumours were spread that Virgin was in financial trouble, they accessed their ticketing system and poached Virgin Atlantic customers. Richard sued British Airways for libel. This resulted in an unforeseen problem. With a lawsuit in the works, none of the banks or investors wanted to go anywhere near Virgin Atlantic. During the quieter winter months, the airline was losing money and eating heavily into capital. Before long, they would have to pay back their bank loans. With no way to raise funds for the airline, Richard had to make a choice. Lose the airline, which would destroy the Virgin brand, thus destroying two companies, or sell Virgin Music and save the airline. He sold Virgin Music for $1 billion. With the lawsuit looming, they built up a strong case. British Airways countersued, but when they realized they wouldn't win, they opted to settle. They had to apologize publicly to Richard. Virgin Atlantic got £110,000 and Richard got £500,000. For the first time, he had a fantastic amount of cash. With an abundance of cash at hand, he was now able to invest into new companies and expand the Virgin brand. Over time, Richard has opened many companies and diversified tremendously into numerous industries. Some have been successful, some haven't lasted long before they failed. So let's go through a few of them. Soon after the sale of Virgin Records, Richard was presented with an idea on a beer mat. This resulted in the creation of Virgin Blue, now Virgin Australia. It is an Australian airline that offers primarily domestic flights. Virgin Money started as a response to the presence of too much red tape and small writing in the finance industry. Virgin Trains ran up until recently as a passenger train service in the UK. Virgin Active is a chain of gyms situated in 8 countries with a total of 238 clubs worldwide and 1.3 million memberships. Virgin Galactic is a commercial space company. Their aim is to provide commercial flights to space. There have been spin-offs such as Virgin Orbit that focuses on launching satellites into space. And for some businesses that didn't work out, Virgin Cars was an online retailer of cars. The company underperformed expectations and stopped trading. Virgin Brides was a wedding store. Virgin V and Virgin Cosmetics sold cosmetics, jewelry and kitchenware. Virgin Clothing sold men's clothing. Virgin Drinks was a company that produced Virgin Cola and Virgin Vodka. Both products didn't last and the company went bust. Interestingly, while Virgin Cola did gain support, it couldn't compete with the major brands Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Check out this video where I explain how Coca-Cola created a brand that ensures they dominate the market.